What's up guys, how you doing? I hope you're all having an amazing day. Season 9 of American Ninja Warrior is officially over, and I wanted to take some time to recap my season, take a look back at each of my runs, see what I did well, see what I can improve on, and honestly just be real with you guys. One of the most important things for getting better at anything is to watch yourself doing it, man. If you want to get better at anything, record yourself and then watch it, and I'm telling you, you will be humbled by what you see, because very rarely does it look like what we're picturing in our minds. So even though I may feel amazing on the course when I watch it, I always see a ton of mistakes. I always see a ton of things I can improve on. So I want to go through each of my runs, talk a little bit about them. I don't want this video to get too long, but let's go through each different phase of Ninja Warrior that I went through this year, and that would start with the Daytona City Qualifiers. And to be honest, I don't have much to say about this run because it was a very successful run for me. I hit my second buzzer in my Ninja Warrior career, and some of you guys may know that only top 30 moves on from that qualifying round. Last year when I hit my first buzzer in Atlanta, I was number 25 out of top 30, which put me very much on the low end of that 30, which means I had to run 5th on the second night, right? So it's slowest to fastest on finals night, which is not good. This year I ended up 10th, which is a much better placement. Going from 25th place to 10th place, I'm really happy with that. And it was only my second buzzer in my Ninja Warrior career, so to go from 25th to 10th makes me happy. Hopefully season 10, if my brother and I get the call and we compete again, I'll be top 5 in the qualifying round. That would be amazing. It was the first time I had ever seen the wing nuts. I was a little bit nervous about that. I had never seen the obstacle before. I did get to try a replica of it that a friend of mine built, so that was really, really good. But other than that, it was a new obstacle. Everybody was really nervous about it, and it ended up taking a lot of people out in that qualifying round, but my brother and I both made it through confidently. Rolling Thunder was tough, and I have to say, after Rolling Thunder, I was really tired. So I need to take that information and I need to adjust my training. I need to have better endurance, and that's one of the obvious things about Ninja Warrior, of course. Other than that, it was a really solid run. The balance obstacle was really no problem for us. The steps were fine. The second obstacle, that downhill slider, was easy. Rolling Thunder was the hardest obstacle for me in the qualifying round. But qualifiers, I was happy with. I hit my buzzer, and then of course, I moved on to the city finals. If you watched our YouTube video recapping everything that happened in the city finals, then you already know some of the things I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to get into it too much here. I qualified for Las Vegas. I am frustrated watching that video because I was absolutely exhausted. The boxes were just straight up too difficult for me to pass. Again, that's eye-opening. My endurance is not good enough, you know what I'm saying? When I got up the salmon ladder, having to do the Rolling Thunder, and then the salmon ladder, and then those boxes, obviously no rest in between. I mean, that's what city finals is all about. Only the best are finishing city finals. So I would love to be a finisher season 10, and I think that's a realistic goal. I have some time before season 10, which takes me, of course, to the national finals. I qualified and my brother didn't, so I was out there by myself this year, and I fell on the second obstacle in the national finals. This is by far the most disappointing part of my season. Falling on the boxes was disappointing, but I knew I was moving on. This year when I went to Vegas, I really, really believed that I was gonna hit a buzzer, and I think it's important to always believe you're gonna succeed. I made it past the steps. That was a huge accomplishment for me, because those of you who have been watching us for a while know that last year, season 8, I fell on the steps in Las Vegas. Falling on the first obstacle of any course is the worst possible thing ever. Neither of us have ever fallen on the first obstacle in a city qualifier or a city final. That would be terrible. When I got back to the national finals this year and I saw that they didn't change the first obstacle, it was pretty much the same obstacle that I had fallen on the year before, I was nervous. There was a lot of psychological warfare going on, but ultimately, I knew what I had to do. You know what I mean? I fell on it last year trying to take it too slow, and I decided I was just gonna power through it, and man, I attacked it, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So in that sense, it is an accomplishment. I'm happy I made it past the first obstacle. What happened on the propeller bar? Why did I fall on the propeller bar? 2 lessons that I learned from falling on the propeller bar. One, and this is kind of an obvious one, never take anything for granted, especially in national finals. If you're watching this and you're a fan of the show, then you saw Jessie Graff fall at the end of stage 1. And I saw that live, it was crazy. Nobody thought she was gonna fall at that point. But she posted on Instagram right after that fall, and I really respected this. You know, she talked about all the lessons she had learned from falling. One thing she said was, you can't take anything for granted. She was at the very end of stage 1. Instead of going for distance and just getting to the net, she wanted to get high on the net, and that was really what caused her to fall. Instead of just shooting forward and catching low on the net, she had plenty of time. She didn't have to go high. She wrote a lot of really inspirational things in that post, but one of the lessons she took away was never take anything for granted. And that's honestly the exact same lesson I took away, because my confidence was very high and I looked at each obstacle and I had a game plan. But the one obstacle that I kind of took for granted was the propeller bar. I really wasn't stressed about it, and I completely underestimated the distance. And the moment I got off that first obstacle, snake run, I ran up the platform and I didn't stop and reset. And I just kept running and hit the tramp and went right for it, and I came up short. Second lesson I learned is take each obstacle one at a time. And I know that might sound so obvious. In a lot of sports, there's really obvious advice that people give. Like when someone's playing baseball, they're like, keep your eye on the ball. And I'm like, no duh. What do you think I'm gonna do, keep my eye on the ground? But those super simple pieces of advice that seem so obvious, those are the fundamentals, those are important. Keep your eye on the ball is critical when you're playing baseball. And take it one obstacle at a time. People say that all the time. I hear that from all the pros. Take it one obstacle at a time. And I was like, okay, take it one obstacle at a time. What does that even mean? Moving forward, especially when you have so much time like we did this year in stage 1, a lot of times there's a very short amount of time to complete stage 1, but this year we had plenty of time to complete stage 1. I had the liberty to take it one obstacle at a time. But for whatever reason, I got off of Snake Run and I was feeling so confident and I was so excited. I got up that platform and I just kept running and hit the tramp. When I should have gotten up there, stopped, analyzed the distance, taken a step back, and gone for it. I will never take an obstacle for granted again, especially in Vegas, but not even in qualifying, man. Don't take anything for granted, even the steps. Analyze the obstacle, decide what you're gonna do, don't take it for granted. And man, the other thing is, take it one obstacle at a time. From now on, when I finish an obstacle, I'm not just gonna jump right into the next one. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna see what the next obstacle is, I'm gonna decide what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna go for it. It's all good, we're gonna come back, we're gonna be better. Always analyze your mistakes, look back at the footage, learn from what you did. Thank you guys for following us, thank you guys for believing in us. Season 10, I will be back. I'll be posting my training between now and then. Sorry I haven't been posting too much, but I've been really busy. But over the next few weeks, I will be posting my training. Always remember, work hard, stay focused, never quit. Peace out.